Please confirm once you are able to see my screen. Can I get some response? Yes, no? Yeah, thank you, Srikanth. Thanks for commenting. And yeah, so I think it's right time to start the session. And as usual, the session lasts for 50 minutes. I think if at all you want to ask me some more doubts, I'll extend by 5 to 10 minutes. Yeah. So welcome to this session. Being a Sunday, you're all here to listen to some of the new things and understand some of the new topics. So I admire you for that. And post this session, we'll be definitely continuing our the current of the plans that we have in the weekend. That can be spending time with family, watching our IPL, whatever. Yeah, just 1 minute, 1 hour. I can say hardly 50 to 45 to 50 minutes. I'll not take much more than that time. Yeah. So and let me just tell you, in between the session, I might ask some of the doubts, some of the questions to you. Maybe the answer can be yes or no, or simply a guess answers. Yeah, that's not much technical, or it's not that you need to give the accurate answers. Okay, so whatever questions I ask you, just give yes or no. And I think since the audience are less, you can even unmute yourself and ask anything or give your views. Yeah. So with that intention, I'm going to start the session. So are you guys with me? Can I get some yes, no? Yes, no? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So here goes the agenda for today's session. I think it can be a 5-point agenda. The first thing is I just touch upon why we need to update ourselves. I can see a lot of CAs, even cost accountants, or some of the tech enthusiasts joining the session. So I'll just give it a brief on why we need to update ourselves. Yeah, maybe I'll speak for 5 to 10 minutes on this. Next, what is the impact of RPA on on us, and where India is going with respect to these digitalization initiatives? Yeah, due to these COVID times and all, we often hear, right, our companies or some of our friends' companies are implementing so-called automation in their activities, so that they are trying to reduce the human efforts. Correct, no? Thus increasing the productivity in these tough times. Correct? We often hear this. Yeah. So I'm going to show you what is the impact these particular companies are looking for with respect to automating or digitalization initiatives. That's the second thing, where I'll be showing some of the statistics. Third, and the most important thing, I'll tell you what exactly is RPA. Of course, this is the core part, right? Where I'll to add to your visualization, I'll even show you the demos as well. Yeah, I'll play the short videos so that you'll be able to understand on what exactly is this RPA, and how is it something unique, and how is it helping us in our work routines. Yeah, so that is something I'm going to cover in the third part of this agenda. Okay, people might be joining, and I'll add them on the real time. Okay, well, the fourth and of course the most important, or the second most important discussion for today, what is the role of chartered accountants and finance professionals? Yeah, many of us know that, okay, RPA is something which is for engineering people. Yeah, because we know when we talk about some technology, immediately the people who will be coming to our mind are the engineers. Correct? But here we do have certain roles. We as a CS, company secretaries, cost accountants, or even for that matter any finance professionals will have certain roles, and that is something I'm going to discuss with you all. And in fact, if you are really interested, I'll also show you the job profiles that showcase that they want RPA as a pre-required skill. Yeah, that's the fourth point. And the last and final agenda for today's discussion will be what is my contribution that I have to the finance community. Yeah, so I'll just discuss with you the course that I have created. If you are interested, you can take it up. So as simple as that. So this is the 5-step agenda, and after this I'm going to open the floor for Q&A, where you can ask all of your questions and get the answers from me. Well, so with that, I think it's time to get into the session. Yeah, since I told I'll be asking some of the questions, so here comes the first question. Well, so how many of you think that fintech is the future? And when I say fintech, it can be anything. It can be RP, it can be implementing an ERP, it can be implementing any software in your companies, anything. All this comes under technology elements. Yeah. So how many of you think that this is something which is the future? The fintech or the finance applications? Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you, Spurti. And any more answers? It's just simple yes or no, or a simply Y or N. Thank you, Dhananjay. Great. So I think all are on the similar path. Okay, so let me ask some more difficult questions then. Okay, so how many of you are able to visualize this technology? When I say visualize, you should be really visualizing in your mind. It's not something, okay, RPA is some a robot or some automation. No, I don't want theoretically. How many are able to visualize in your mind? Okay, this is how RPA will work, or this is what exactly is RPA. Can I get some response? Yes, no, no idea. Thank you, no problem. By the end of the video, you will be able to visualize. I'm not telling it's only to theoretical understanding. You will be able to visualize. Thank you, Yogesh. Thanks for that. Okay, so I promise that I think the third part covers this, where you will be able to completely visualize this technology. Okay, well, so with that, let's go to the next question. How many of you think that we will be replaced by bots? I know this is something subjective. I can't say completely yes, completely no. It's okay to give your views. Yeah, if it is yes, maybe yes up to 40%. Yes, 80%. No, 20%. Anything. Srikanth, I agree, totally agree with you, maybe some extent, because this is totally subjective. And to be precise, it depends on the profile that we are doing. Well, let me tell you in brief. Say for example, I'm just entering some data, I'm just booking the invoices, I'm just preparing the MIS in my company, I'm just passing some accounting entries in my company, I'm just preparing the financial statements in my company. If these are the profiles, higher chance you are going to be get replaced by bots. I'll tell you how and why. Okay, and okay, I'm just adding few. Okay, and if in the other case, scenario 2, if I'm someone who is in a top position and whose role is to give the judgments, whose role is to do the risk assessments, or whose role is to do the due diligence of a new company. Okay, if you are into those roles where you require your judgment to be given, maybe that judgment comes from your previous experience, from the knowledge that you have been gone through, from the experience you have been gone through. If this is the kind of job that you are handling, lesser chance. I'm not saying no, lesser chance. Why I'm saying lesser chance, I'll justify that in the subsequent slides. Okay, so whatever profile you are handling, if it is something which is routine, monotonous or repeated works, or which is something rule based, maximum chance. If it is something which is based on judgments, which is based on some experience, some kind of I can say past knowledge, previous experience, everything, to a certain extent, not completely. Well, but overall scope is there. That can be 20%, 80%, 60%, up to the profile that you are handling. Well, I'll justify all these things in the subsequent slides. Well, and the last questions for this particular poll. How many of you heard that CAs or finance guys are being picked up for these jobs? Maybe your friends of friends, anyone, anytime. Have you heard of it like that? Like, thank you, Dhananjay. Thank you, Yogesh. Any more responses? Yes, no. Thank you, Skuti. And Srikanth. Yeah, thank you for that. I have been to that profile, and I'm going to share the news article as well. Yeah, where I'll introduce you to my team and also showcase you. If you want to be in this fintech domain, this is how you will be able to lead the project. I'm going to justify all those things with proofs. Thank you, Srikanth, for that. I think. Yeah, Srikanth. Okay. Okay, so I think with that we are done with the questions. Let's go to the first agenda. Why we need to update ourselves. Okay. So here I'm showing you one image where you can see that there is a bridge. Water is flowing. I think people are using. I can see the lights on the top of the bridge. That's the image one. Okay. And what is something in image 2? Here also there is a bridge, and I don't see any people using. I think it was just left abandoned. Observe these two images very carefully. 1, 2. Again 1. There is a beautiful bridge. People are using. River is flowing under the bridge, and that is making sense. Second, it doesn't make any sense. There is a bridge which is completely left over, and the river is also not flowing under the bridge. So here comes the question: are these two same? A simple wild guess is fine. If you know, maybe it's fine. You can simply type yes. If you don't know, guess it. Might be yes, might be no. I'll wait for some responses. Don't know, fine. I think in that case it's no. Yogesh yes, Uti no. Any more responses? I think majority are into no. I don't know why. Dhananjay also no. Okay, let me also type it then. My view. Why to tell? I'll go with Yogesh. Fine, both are same. Both are same. See, this is something which is taken in the initial days of this particular bridge, when it is doing its job very perfectly and people are using it. This image is taken at a later point of time, maybe after 2 years, 3 years, whatever time frame. That is taken at a later point of time, where you see the bridge has become useless. And you know the reason? the river has changed its direction. It's due to the river which has changed its direction. It is no longer flowing under the bridge. Rather, it has taken the extreme right side and it is flowing next to the bridge, not under the bridge. As a result, what happened? People left the bridge and that is not doing its job perfectly. Yeah, so here what is something I want to showcase is that though you are very equipped, though we are very equipped, it's due to the external forces, external changes, external advancements, we are becoming outdated. We are becoming not so relevant. Yeah, and just to ask you, I think I already told you, who are we here? Can we relate ourselves to river or can we relate ourselves to the bridge? Take your examples of your profession, what you are doing. So basically what we are doing, we are getting the information collected or the request collected from the stakeholders. That can be our suppliers. We are not the bridge. Sorry, we are the bridge. Sorry, Yogesh, I just confused. I'm just looking for people to add. Okay, correct. We are the bridge here. Because what we are doing, we are collecting information from external stakeholders, maybe some suppliers, including the top management, including some other colleagues, bankers, taxation authorities, and we are taking such a information and we are passing into our ERPs. We are getting the requirement from them and we are processing by taking the data from ERPs. But the way these things are getting done are changed. Let me tell you a very good example. Maybe you can take audit or taxation examples. Let me go with audit. Earlier we used to do all this audit using paperwork, correct? We used to be given all the evidences and we used to watch it and we used to say that this is something true, this is something false. Later what has happened, we are depending on the Excel, okay, to some extent. Even now also we are depending more on the Excel. And later what happened, audit tools came, where we are relying on these audit tools and getting that work done, correct? These are the various advancements happening in this audit domain, and since we are updating ourselves, we are using them. What if we are not updating? People will not reach us to do that, and they can get the work done automatically with these softwares, correct? And there will not be any need for reaching out for a CA. And same thing with tax filing. Earlier clients used to come to us, show us the data, form 16 or whatever, and we used to give our judgment. Okay, with these incomes, with these expenses, this is your taxation amount. And now what has become? Form 16 automatically uploading came from ClearTax. Hardly what you need to do, upload your form 16, your task is done. The system will read out all the contents, sort out all the contents, prepare ITR 1 for you. Hardly you need to just go through, nothing else. Your judgment is not required there. They have all the algorithms, they have all the models, they have trained their system. It will grab the relevant data from form 16 and file your ITR 1. So how many of you have used this or heard of this ClearTax forms, automatic filing software or facility? Can I get some response? Yes, no? Exactly, Yogesh. I think since you are in practice, you will be definitely touching upon. Great. Thank you, Sputi, and thank you, Srikanth. Yeah, so these are the various advancements happening outside our control. Yeah, if we are not updating ourselves, we'll be left like this, because people are getting the job done without even reaching us. That's my point. Yeah, so with that, to conclude that, I have spent some of my time on this particular example, which is called Honduras Bridge. Let me share you the facts. The bridge name is called Honduras Bridge. This is something which has constructed across the river called Chotlega. Somewhere in the United States, this particular situation happened. So overall, what I would recommend is we need to build ourselves, we need to update ourselves, not to lose, but to last ever. Right? So we are responsible to keep us updated, maybe with the technologies, with the ERPs, with the softwares, with the applications, whatever coming and whatever people are using in our finance and accounting domains. I'm not saying that we need to design them. Rather, we should have a clear understanding on their capabilities, and we should have a clear skill to make them use to get our work done. Right? So I think I have taken enough amount of time just to showcase you the need for updating ourselves. Without me saying that, if I say what is RPA, you people may not get the interest. So I just want to show you the impact, show you the need. Then I want to pull you to understand what exactly is RPA. Yeah, I'm not sure whether my approach worked or not, but I think that's my intention. Well, and just to continue on the similar roles, this is something I got from ICAI ABCD book, Automation, Blockchain, Cyber Security and Data Analytics. I think it's not right here with me, or else I could have shown right in front of you. So this is the essence from that particular book, where they say that this is how our CFO's roles are going to be changed with the advancements of technology. And how? Let us see in these 4 bullet points. The first thing is that I think let me give you an introduction. Many of us might be acting as CFOs, or might be our bosses will be acting as CFOs. So what is our role currently? Preparation of financials, all these finance and accounting works, right? Maybe project evaluations, preparation of these financials, journal entries, or even MIS for that matter, finalizing. So all this routine finance accounting stuff is something that we are doing as a CFO, correct? But this is not something which is going to be relevant in future. Rather, in future, you as a CFO is expected to do these type of activities as well. I'm not saying that will be completely get away. No, this is something which will be really required. Plus your routine work. Okay. The first thing, you are supposed to be in a core committee member where you will be understanding the feasibility of these distillation plants. When I say feasibility, it doesn't mean only in the financial terms, rather on the capabilities of these softwares. That can be your ERP, that can be HR software, that can be some accounting software for that matter, that can be some tax filing software, anything. You as a CFO should understand its capabilities and should evaluate whether it is satisfying my requirements and then get it implemented. Yeah, it's not only the job of IT people, it's your job as well to understand or find out the feasibility of these distillation plants. And when I say feasibility, both financially plus technically. Well, and the next one, you are supposed to evaluate on the IT working models. What is this IT working model? Whether you want to have a cloud-based or on-premise based. Let me tell you, I want to implement my ERP in my company. I have two options, whether to choose any ERP package which completely installed in my server, which is on-premise. Rather, pay some subscription and get the cloud-based application, which is Zoho Books. Correct? So there, my data is not with me, it is in the server of Zoho. But here in the other example of offline, or say Tally, or even SAP for that matter, I am storing all my data in the local server. So you need to evaluate these type of models, cloud-based or on-premise based. You are supposed to, it's not only the work of IT people. Yeah, you should know the cybersecurity problems or the encryption mechanisms, and you should be in a position to give your views. Whether that will be considered or not, that's a different story. But you should know all these evaluation models and you should be in a position to give out your views. Yeah. Third thing, you should understand the cross-functional digital process initiatives, innovations. So what is this cross-functional? You are no longer responsible for finance. You're also supposed to know what sales team is doing, what a purchase team is doing, what HR team is doing, what is that other so-and-so departments are doing, maybe taxation, treasury, or whatever, everything. Because once you know the process, you can suggest the best technology, right? The best software, the best application, or the best process re-engineering, anything. Yeah. So you should know all these things, not only limited to your finance domain. You should understand what each and every other department is also doing. Yeah, that's the third requirement. And the fourth requirement is that your decisions will be purely based on the data analytics tools. When I say data analytics tools, it can be Power BI or Tableau or even Alteryx, etc. Yeah. So I think you might be hearing, right? People might be using to prepare MIS, to prepare these projections. They are using certain softwares, but without understanding its capability on how the software is working, can you rely your judgment on them, on the outcomes of that? Can I get some response? Yes, no? So unless you understand how my model is working, how my cash projection, I can say there is some software with respect to cash management. I'm not getting Cash Force or something. I'm not sure. I'll share that link. Okay. So how that particular tool is programmed, how that analysis is being done by the tool, how the forecasting is done by the tool, what are the various factors it is considering to give that such a projection. So all this you need to understand so that you can depend on them and give your judgment with confidence. Got it? So overall, what I'm going to say is our roles are going to change from finance CFO to fintech CFO. So are you guys with me, or is it something I'm speaking which is going above your head? Can you get some response? Yes, no? Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you, Spruti. And others, please, so that I can... Oh, Srikanth, fine. Yeah, but fine. Yeah, this is what happening, but no issues. I think at least you are able to grab the main points where we are, what is something industry is expecting from us. Okay. So apart from our IT work, when I say this is the thing, it's not that we are completely leaving our core work. No, that the core work plus these sort of fintech expectations are something industry is having from CFOs. Okay. Well, nothing to worry, Srikanth. I think let's go to the next topics. Okay, since we understand that it is something that we need to update ourselves, but with what is the question? So these are the modern ABCDs of digital world, and this is the topics which every chartered accountant or every finance guy should have a understanding. Yeah, it's not in-depth understanding, expert knowledge, but at least you should know what exactly is this. So what are these? A for automation, I think, which is RPA. B for blockchain, I'll be also dealing with that. C for cryptocurrencies or cybersecurity, depending on your choice. It's not that you need to learn only cryptocurrencies. No, if your choice is next to the blockchain, then seek for cryptocurrencies, or if you want to go completely in a different profile, you can choose for cybersecurity as per your interest. And next, what is D for? It is for data analytics or decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is something which is extension from blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and data analytics altogether, a new a subject for that matter. Yeah. So these are the 6 technologies, I can say, right? These are the 6 various technologies where every finance professional should have a basic understanding. Yeah, so that you can share your views, or whenever someone is talking about the blockchain, you'll be able to understand and you'll be able to say that I'm someone who is updated with this. At least I know something, not like others where who have zero knowledge on this. Correct? So that's what the need for updating ourselves, and with these things we need to update ourselves. Yeah, I think I covered the 2 points, and let me go to the next thing, where I wish to show you what are some of the predictions or the statistics with respect to Indian market. Yeah, and why only Indian market? I don't want to show you where I see that okay, this is what something happening in the world. No, we are all living in India, and let us first understand the trend in India, then we'll go to the world statistics. Correct? So this is something I have for you. In fact, the other article also I'll be discussing in a little while. So the first article says that 50% of Indian companies are ready to deploy automation by 2024. 2024 is just 3 years from now, and 50% of Indian firms, they are looking for automation. Well, just to share you some of the facts, this is some sort of survey conducted by Automation Anywhere, and this happened in February 2021, where they inquired 1600 companies, and they told that 57% of them, they want to implement RPA. 21% in big data, the data analytics, 7% into machine learning, and 15% into other technologies. When I say other technologies, blockchain, cybersecurity, all these things comes into picture. Yeah, so that's the intent, that's the extent of that's the extent of Indian companies who are looking to implement RPA by the end of 2024. Well, I think that makes sense. Well, okay, let's go to the world economy extent. So here, this is the question which is kept to the companies. See, you're all hit by the COVID. What is something you are planning to overcome it? Of course, that's the very well valid question, right? And this is the report from World Economic Forum. You can see the future of jobs report from World Economic Forum, released by World Economic Forum. Yeah. So just to tell you the facts, this is the question: what is the planned business response to COVID? What's that innovation, or what is that you are thinking in response to the COVID? So the answers are here. 84% of the companies said that they want to accelerate digitalization of work process, which is nothing but automation. 50% say that again they want to accelerate automation of tasks. Okay. 42% they want to accelerate upskilling of their workmen. Correct? No. If they automate that, definitely yes, the workers should get updated with update process. Correct? So that is also equally important, where you can see more than 42% they want to say that. Sir, you missed something. That 83% is work from home. Got it? So if you see, more than 50% of the companies are looking out for automation. That can be in Indian context, that can be in world context. Yeah, that's the importance this RPA is having. Well, so with that, I think it's right time to start our core topic, which is what exactly is RPA. So having known all these facts, all those need for updating ourselves, we need to decide on 2 things: whether we want to be human versus bots, where you will this is a scenario where you are not updating yourself and just you are trying to fight with the robot, saying that you cannot replace me. Keep on saying that, and one day you will come to know that you are something, your work is something that can be automated. That is first scenario. Second scenario, since you understood what are the capabilities of bots, or since you are going to understand what are the capabilities of bots, let's make friendship with them. Yeah, let's try to understand their abilities and try to implement in our workplaces, so that we will not be replaced. We can put our time on productive tasks, and we can get the robots as a helping hand. So what is your choice, 1 or 2? and in the next 5 minutes we are going to see the demo. One or two. Okay, thank you, Srikanth. Right. Thank you, Sputi. Okay, so that's what, right? We all want to be in the second segment. Yeah. For that, what we need to do? Upskill ourselves. Well, so the core part, what exactly is RPA? Okay, let me read out the theoretical definition first. Then I'll give you some imagination to visualize. Then I'll show the demo to completely visualize. So that approach would be fine, right? Yeah. The first thing, the theoretical definition. What exactly is RPA means? It is the process of automating business operations. Sir, we know this. It's a simple definition. RPA is nothing but the process of automating business operations with the help of robots. And what is the objective? To reduce human intervention. So what is something you are going to teach me, especially here? Let's see. Okay, let's break out these terms: robotic, process, automation, and see what are the terms we know. We already know. We know automation. It's nothing but a process if done without human intervention. That's an automation. We know the process. It's nothing but a sequence of steps. If we do that, we'll end up getting a meaningful activity. That can be preparation of MIS, preparing anything, invoice booking, or anything for that matter. Anything, any audit, any finance, any taxation activity for that matter. That's called a process, right? And that's called automation if it is done by a robot. We know both of these things. Then what is this robotic? Yeah, what is this robotic? Okay, let's read out and understand. Robotic are the entities. Sir, what is this technical term? We are not getting what is meant by entities. Leave it. Let us say robotics are softwares that can copy human actions. What? Robotics are softwares that can copy human actions. How is it? Okay, let me tell you live. See, the way I am pressing my keyboard keys, the way I am typing what is something I require, the way I am pressing enter, the same way robotics will work. Even just to expand to your visualization, see how I am doing. I am doing from the presentation layer of any application. Correct? I am not doing all these things from the back end. I am just interacting. I am using my mouse keyboard. I am using my mouse to move, highlight whatever I want. Correct? No, that is what I am doing as an end user. So here robotic softwares also will do the work in the same way. Nothing to do from the back end. It's not that you are running some script. It is collecting data from the database directly from the back end and it is getting the task done. No. It is working just like the way you are using your mouse. You are saving a file. You are closing a file or whatever. The same way you are doing, they are also able to do. That's where the concept comes copying the human actions. Let me close this file. Okay, see, copying the human actions. Let us see how it is being done. Let us see in the demo. Well, so are you guys with me? You got theoretical definition of RPA? Yes, no. Just I told what is automation, what is process, what is robotic. Clear. Thank you for the confirmation. And let's go to visualization. Okay, since tomorrow is a Monday, just assume whatever I'm speaking. Assume that you are given a laptop in your company. Of course, you are already given, maybe desktop or whatever, and you are already given a chair, right? Just like the way my chair is. Okay, so assume that instead of you going to the office, a robot is going in place of you. And when I say robot, you can imagine Chitti the robot, the Rajnikant, whatever. Okay, so imagine that a robot like that is going to your office, sitting in the chair just like you, or in the same chair that you are assigned, opening the laptop, giving the user ID password, and started interacting with all the applications. When I say applications, what are the applications that you will be using? MS Office, Excel, Word, PPT, whatever, Outlook, SAP or ERP, whatever installed in your company, plus Google Chrome. Of course, you want to research something or do some banking. That's what. No, these are the most common applications that you will be using in your workplaces, right? Of course, I can say 80% will be Excel only. Correct? So, with all those applications, this robot is able to work. Just like the way you are giving the user ID password, just like the way you are navigating in your SAP, just like the way you are preparing Excel's reconciliations, everything, the same way it is doing. Nothing from the back end, always from the front end, user presentation layer. Well, so imagine such a scenario, and that is what called RPA. And just to amend this particular imagination, don't imagine physical robot. Now imagine everything is done by a soft robot which is installed in the server of your company, or maybe personal laptop, whatever. Got the visualization? So on a fine day, at a right time, robot will start your system. It will enter the user ID password, and the robot is inside your computer, not external. Okay, it will start opening your SAP, everything. It will book the invoices, prepare the MIS, pass accounting entries, everything it will do. And if you see the screen, you will see the mouse movements like this, keyboard movements like this, like this, like this. You will be able to see that is only you will be able to see, not something from the backend. Correct? So that exactly is called RPA. So how many are able to visualize, or did I make it confusion? Can I get some yes, no? Thank you. Exactly, Srikanth, it will do by itself, and provided we need to code it. I'll tell you that. Correct. Once we code it, it will be able to do all these things by itself. Correct, no? I'm going to show the demo right now. Okay, let's all leave the technical definitions. Remember, this is the myth. We are not required to know any technical terms. What we are supposed to know is to understand their capabilities, give the ideas on where you can implement them. Okay? Yeah. So with that, it's time to go for the demo. And here I have a beautiful demo. Only issue is that I'm not able to share the audio, but I'll tell you. Okay, so let's continue the example of invoice booking. Okay, so what are the various steps involved in invoice booking? Can someone tell me? Assume that your supplier has sent you some goods, you have received that, and now he is sending the invoice for that, and you want to book that invoice in your SAP or whatever ERP. What are the various steps you will be doing? Can I get some responses? What are the various steps? Maybe when I say the steps, it can be like downloading the invoice. If assume I'm receiving my email, reading all the contents, checking the accuracy of those details, like the item code, item name, PO price, vendor name, vendor code, payment terms. Correct? No, this is all the checks I'll do to ensure the accuracy of the contents of the invoice. Correct? Or am I missing something? And once you are sure that every content is ready, what you will do? You'll open the SAP. You'll start entering the data in that particular module of invoice booking. Maybe I think you people are the right people to say the T codes or whatever in SAP. I haven't used this too much. Okay, correct? No, it will open that, or we will open that and start entering the data. And at the end, we'll say that your accounting entry has been posted, your liability has been booked to the vendor. Correct? No, or did I miss something? And what if there is some discrepancy in the invoice? What we'll do? We'll call him and say that this is something false. So unless you correct it, I'll not be able to proceed. And once he corrects it, what we'll do? We'll again do the same process. Correct? No? This is the manual approach. And how much time it will take when I say there are some 20 line items, 20 items in the purchase invoice, in the invoice? Can I get some response? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever. Assuming that a person is doing, not a robot. Can I get some random guess? So your people are booking the invoice, and that is having, say, 20 line items, 20 item codes. So each item they need to verify with purchase order. Of course, 5 minutes, I think reasonable. Not so less, not so high. Fine. Up to 10 minutes, I totally agree. 5 to 10 minutes is a reasonable time slab where anyone can put in. Correct? Unless he is so expert, 5 minutes. He is reasonably fine in his execution speed, 10 minutes. If he is too slow, 20 minutes. No one can help. Correct, no? So these are the various steps involved. Now, let us see how the same activity is done by a robot. So are you guys with me? I'm going to play the video. I'm going to explain you in detail on how RPA will be able to do this all for us. Yeah. So just to give you the context, in this video also, we will be receiving 3 invoices from email by the vendor, from the vendor. And this bot will open that invoices, read the content, process them, open the SAP, enter them, and send a mail to the vendor stating that your liability has been booked. Are you guys with me to see the demo? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Thank you guys. Thank you, Smruti. Anyone? Thank you, Dhananjay. Well, right. It's time to play the video. Just follow the subtitles, and in fact I'll explain whenever it is required. Okay? The relevant information. The ERP, whatever you are using. Okay, so here what robot is doing, it is maintaining a folder because it needs to download the attachments, right? The invoices that they have mailed to us, correct? So once it identifies that this is something from so and so vendor, what it does, it downloads that attachment. That can be PDF. Okay, it downloads that and paste it in a folder, dedicated folder. That's the first thing. Well, and now what is it doing? It is opening the invoices and reading the contents. Sorry. Once it finished reading the invoices, it is now shortlisting the key terms: item name, item code, vendor code, payment terms, all this relevant stuff. Okay, once it checks with the PO and ensures that everything is correct and accurate, now what it is doing, it is opening the SAP. Yeah, and during that process it is also checking whether it is already open. If it is already open, no point in opening, right? If it is not open, it will open the SAP. And then it will give the user ID password, which we are assigned to the board. It will start navigating to invoice booking module. Then it is what it is doing, it is entering the data. It will enter the data, and once everything is done, it will send a mail to the concerned person saying that okay, your invoice has been booked, or maybe to the finance concerned authority internal employee stating that I have done the task. Correct? Let us see all these things in action. And remember this particular slide, I'll speak on it a little later. Okay, so I'm starting a video. Notification email. Giving the login ID. Company code, every information it is typing. See the fastness. Okay, so here what has happened, there are 3 invoices, and in one of the invoice, it has identified a difference with respect to the VAT rate. VAT rate as per PO is 19%, whereas VAT rate in the invoice is only 10% for an item. So now what it is doing is, it is sending a mail to the relevant stakeholder, maybe the internal employee or the accountant for that matter, stating that, see, this is what I observed. I need your expert guidance on this. VAT rate as per so and so is this, VAT rate as per so and so is this. Now, should I post the document with the VAT which is in the invoice? Please reply with yes if you want me to proceed. Please reply with no if you don't want me to proceed. See how the mail was drafted to an employee, just like it is initiated from an employee. Correct? So let's see how it will resume to work. Yeah, sorry for that. I got a new participant. See the response? Simple yes. So since the reply is yes, it is going ahead. So got the demo, and how is it? Can I get some responses? Yes, no. So similarly, just like the way we do, it haven't done anything from the back end, everything from the front end. Read the invoice using some add-ons. I'll talk about that in the later sessions. It has got details of invoice, the relevant details, and it has opened the SAP, and when it is loading to the SAP, it haven't used our logins. We have already given our dedicated login to robot, bot I can say, and that using that login it entered into the system, correct, and then started typing the data. Just imagine the speed when the invoice volumes are more and more and more. Just to tell you, a company like L&T, just imagine the number of invoices that they are supposed to book in a day, having its operations across the India in each and every state across 10 to 15 other verticals. Yeah, and lot more companies will be having dedicated shared service centers for that matter, just to process these sort of billings. And there, just imagine what time, what efforts that robots can use once they implement it properly. And before implementation, definitely it's not an easy cakewalk. You and people like us need to put a lot of efforts to train these bots, to get the testing done, to get the design done from the engineers, and we need to finally give the consent so that the bot will be live in our environment. Yeah, so I hope you understood the demo and you got a reasonable understanding or visualization. I'll not say understanding, you should be in a position to visualize. I hope you all got it. Yeah, so any questions regarding the demo, or can I go to the next topic? Srikanth has a question. Just a minute, I'll expand the chart. Okay, if it is doing by itself, then what is our requirement? See, Srikanth, it's not only the routine works will be eliminated. And when I say routine, you know, all these rule-based tasks, and invoice booking is not a rocket science. It does goes only with the basic checks and balances, like check what is as per PO, what is as per GRN, and what is as per invoice. Is everything is correct, book the invoice. So we'll be getting time, or we'll be freed up from these routine rule-based tasks. So that's first benefit that we are going to get. Yeah, and also yes, if our job is only to do that and we are not required to do any other job, definitely that time we will get replaced, and unless we get updated with the subsequent processes, the next level approach work profiles will be getting impacted with this. Both the things I told. Yeah, first thing, you'll get a lot of free time to put on the more productive works. Second thing, if we are not be given that sort of work, definitely yes, that is going to impact us. Thank you, Dhananjay, and thank you, Srikanth, for the question. Very good question, Srikanth. Yeah, and just to continue, what are the characteristics of bots? Since we have seen the demo, I think we'll be able to relate it with ease. The first thing, these are no more physical robots. These are the soft robots that are relying in our computer. That's the first check done, correct? And they can work across all the applications. You name any ERP or any application, any Microsoft application, anything, any Play Store application, anything, whatever you name it, bots will be able to work, because they are working from the presentation layer, not from the back end. If it is something working on the back end, we do require a lot of permissions, but here it's a front end, correct? So it works with each and every application. Third thing, similar to Excel macros, how to justify this? So how many are able to visualize the Excel macros? Once we give the Excel macro command, know what it will do? Based on simple triggering of that particular macro, you will see some magics happening in the Excel screen, and you will get the job done in next 2 to 3 seconds. Correct, no? Or depending on the code, if it is so robust, it might take some time. Correct? That is called Excel macro. The same way, the same speed, these RPAs are working, but with across all applications. Just to imagine how it is, how it will carry. Imagine macro, but the utility is more in RPA. Got it? Well, next one, more times dynamic compared to macros. That is something we have spoken now. Yeah, easily configurable. Sir, what is this easily configurable? Remember, I told you to remember this particular slide, where I'll refer later. I'm just zooming in. See, if you see, what is this? This is the design of a bot, and how that was made. Is there any programming language there, or is it something like a flowchart? Can I get some responses? Is it like a script or flowchart? It's like a flowchart, right? See, start, open this, yes, this one, no, this one, again, yes, no, flowchart, everywhere flowchart symbols, correct? So that's the way these bots are. Just a minute, I'm not able to exit. Yeah, these bots are designed. With respect to UiPath, it is so easy that any people like you and me will be able to prepare small bots. I'll not say that we'll be able to do everything, no, but at least we'll be able to prepare a small bots for our experience, for our knowledge purposes. Yeah, they are easily configurable and no need to depend more on the programming language. And this is something I'm speaking with respect to UiPath. Okay, and next, it costs less than full-time employee. Correct? No, that's the reason why companies are running to implement. If they say that for a human worker, pay 1 lakh. If it is done by a robot, pay 2 lakh. No company will want to implement it. Rather, I'll tell you the conversion factors. With respect to productivity, a bot is 10x to human, 10 times more productive to a human. Correct? With respect to the cost, it is 1/10 division, 1 by 10. If you are paying 1 lakh to a user, the bot license will cost you 10,000 per month. That's it. So cost wise 1/10, productivity wise 10x, and that's the reason why companies are looking for automation. Yeah. So just to summarize the benefits, I think someone asked me. I think someone texted. What are the benefits of RPA? I think you people can add more if I miss something. Cost savings, the first reason. Quick ROI. So depending on the project, there are companies which got the return in less than 3 months to 2 years. Depending on the process that you are automating. If you are automating a big process, that might take 5 to 10 years to get recovery of the investment. If it is a small process and a lot of people are wasting their time to do that repeated process, within 2 months you will be able to get your return or the capital invested to design the bots. It's a quick return on investment. Third thing, quality and accuracy. Bots will never make a mistake. But sir, I heard bots might make mistakes. But when they are designed incorrectly, inaccurately, correct? No. So never you can blame a bot. Blame a person who has designed that particular bot. If the design was accurate, that will never make a mistake. It's not a human, correct? Yeah, that's the third benefit, which is quality and accuracy in work. What is the fourth one? Reduced cycle time. Now continuing the same example, how much time this particular bot has taken to book the invoice? Say 20 items again. How much time? Just a guess. Since you have seen the video, and assume that bots is working at a full speed, because in the video, just to understand ourselves, they have played it a little lesser time frame. But just imagine working at a full speed, how much time bot would have taken to book the same invoice with 20 items? Just a guess. Correct? Less than a minute. Any more responses? Yeah, Gautam, I agree. 30 seconds. Depends on the accuracy that you have configured the model. Exactly. I think many of you are sticking to that 30 minutes to 1 minute. Perfect guys. Correct? So that's called reduce the cycle time. And next we can have employee job satisfaction. Sir, how is it? As I told you, you will not be doing that job anymore. Rather, you will verify that. See, it's not that completely robo only will prepare the financials. No, it will prepare the draft financials. You should just see it and certify it. Correct? So your work of preparation is replaced, but your work of certification is never been taken. An audit report will never be given by a bot. It can prepare the audit report. You as an auditor should certify that and release it to your client. Same thing with tax filing. It can never do the tax filing by itself. It will prepare what is something that you need to file in your tax format. That can be GST or 2A, whatever, income tax, whatever. It will prepare all those things. It will ask you to verify. And once you are okay with the accuracy, file it up. Got the reason? Got the difference? It's not something replacing. It is getting relieved and making you relieved from this preparation process. Okay, and giving you more power, more time to certify and use your time productively, not to waste on preparing all this routine stuff. Got it? Well, the next thing is low technical barriers. When I say low technical barriers, how I can justify? Well, now, if you want to implement RPA, no need to do anything. No need to change any existing infrastructure. If you are using SAP, okay. If you are using Tally, okay. If you are using Oracle, okay. If you are using old server, okay. If you are no need to change anything because you are implementing RPA, because RPA can work with any of these applications. Got the justification? Yeah, we don't require any new changes to be done in the existing environment. No, you have whatever operating systems, whatever applications, whatever softwares, let it be. It can work with any application, any software. Yeah, I think I needless to speak competitive advantage. I don't think I need to speak on this. Consistent work results, again, I needless to speak. Compliance, because it will never make any errors. Correct? So you will be compliant of the tax filings, of those audit filings, whatever. Yeah, 24/7 support. So why you are telling all these things? These are some very, very basics. Bot will never sleep. It works all the time, 24/7, at whatever time you want. Better security. What is this better security? Yeah, I'll tell you this way. Say there are some trade secrets. If you tell to an employee, what is the trust level that he will never disclose to outsiders? I can say 90%. I can't say 100% he will never disclose at any point of time. No. Since he is a human, due to some external forces, he might disclose. But what if a robot is working in place of an employee? Will that share this information to outsiders? No. They will do only what they are supposed to do. Never they will do a step extra than what they are configured for. Correct? So that for security tasks, for some task which involves some confidentiality, bots can be used. Yeah. I think I already covered better work-life balance. Assume that in a scenario where I have all the robots working for me and my job is to certify the work, I will have, of course, the better work-life balance. Anything you want to add? Did I miss something? I think I covered everything. I just spent a lot of time to prepare these slides and I hope I covered everything with respect to the benefits. Okay. So I think we are running out of time. Maybe 10 more minutes or 5 more minutes I'll extend. Nothing more than that. 5 or 5:10 I'll wind up. Yeah. Just to show you a glimpse of use cases. With respect to the finance and accounts, we can use the bots for preparing our MIS reports, preparing financials, doing all these account reconciliations. That can be foreign currency transactions, intercompany transactions, GST filings, GST 2A versus book data, any kind of reconciliation for that matter can be done by bots. Passing journal entries at month end, BRS, and sir, why BRS is very small thing? No, why I want to automate? Never, it's a small thing. Just imagine a big company like the company which I worked in Bahrain, having 24 divisions, having 146 bank accounts. Out of those 146, 20 are foreign currency accounts. Just imagine the difficulty to do BRS. Okay, well, and the next, account payable processing, like on a due date, these bots will be in a position to upload the bank commands so that your payment will be processed. Hardly you need to just certify that, approve that, give the OTP, nothing else. No need to log into internet banking, fill all these details, enter the amounts, and then submit the claim so that bank will process at so and so time. No. Bots are there to do that. Hardly you need to certify and approve once that comes to your workflow. Making sense? Same thing with account receivables. Once it receives any email from so and so customer stating that I have deposited, it will open all the customer records. What are the existing invoices? Against that, it will pass an accounting entry and set it off. Of course, it will ask you for some consent. Once you approve, accounting entry will be passed or amount received will be accounted. Same thing with financial planning and analysis. Three-way matching in P2P, O2C. I think you know what is three-way matching. Forex rate updation, everything can be done by using these bots automatically. That is with respect to finance and accounts. And I'm not explaining much, I know, but I'm just going to I'm trying to give you the glimpse on where it can be implemented. If I take some 2-hour sessions, there I used to explain on what is the problem in this and how the bots are able to do these for us. Yeah, so it may not be feasible to explain in a 1-hour slot. Yeah, and this is something we have in general accounting, this is something we have in P2P, this is something we have in taxation, return filing, TDS filings, tax accounting, GST verification of vendors. Correct? No? If you see, a lot of vendors will be dealing and they will be giving the GST numbers, but we don't know how many are genuine vendors, how many are correct GST numbers, unless we check into the portal. But why to do all this routine stuff? Get a robot, it will verify each and every GST number on a periodic basis. It will tell you so and so vendors have filed, not filed the returns. It's a very small process at cost efficient, time efficient process. Correct? Preparation of your Form 16s, preparing your employee TDS returns, everything. It will be taken care by these robots, provided it is not something offered by the existing ERP. Again guys, I'm not telling that everything RP is a solution. No. Try to find out if your accounting solution has already has this feature, is able to do it as per your request. No. The answer is approach your SAP or approach your ERP, ask them to do this, get the cost for that. Second alternative, what is the cost if I get by RPA? If this is cheaper, go with RPA. If that is cheaper, go with customizing your ERP. Don't waste your time on RPA. And this is the judgments we will be giving to our companies as a functional consultants. Got it? So that is our role for chartered accountants. Same thing with audit. I think it's getting the audit data, getting the pre-audit analytics done, document conversion, maybe from one language to another language. This is something, assume in a scenario where you are auditing a company in Russia. Of course, the documents will be in Russian language. They'll not give you in English language all the documents or all the agreements for that matter. So implement an RPA which will do all this routine work for you. Verifying audit evidence. In some of the companies they are using bots to verify the air tickets, bus tickets, train tickets, the general documents that everyone will be using. They are deploying these bots so that they will check from the respective Air India websites or SpiceJet or whatever and say that okay, whatever claim submitted by employee is right. Happening. It's not something which is in the future, this is something which is the present. Yeah. So if you have any use case you can share. Yeah, this is something I heard. Anything. And this is something in the HR. Well, so with that I think the last thing for today, what is something I have for you. And before that I think I haven't introduced myself, and this is something I do it intentionally. Yeah, unless you get the value I'll not share who am I. Okay, I think it's right time to tell what is something I have for you and who am I. Okay, so just like many of you has told, I'm a CA and company secretary, and apart from these two, I'm into fintech for the last 3.5 years, where I did all these RPA implementations in a company, and which is by profession, and I'm a blockchain enthusiast by passion, where I started researching on blockchain from the last 2.5 to 3 years, and I have a blog where I'll be sharing the use cases. I think many of you might be knowing. Yeah, needless to specify. And I finished my milestone of 200 blockchain use cases on my own blog. I'll also share the link of the blog. Just a minute. Yeah, this is my blog link where you can find the use cases if at all it interests you. Yeah, there is a chat. Okay, and just to continue. Yeah, correct. I'm a blockchain instructor as well, just like the way I'm teaching RPA, where I have my own course. I do teach blockchain. In fact, the morning session from 11 to 12 is on blockchain, and now it's on RPA. And this is my usual agenda on every Sunday. Okay, I started my career as told with L&T, and this is my 4.5 years. Yeah, so that's all about me. I would love to be called as a fintechy. Now, talking more on what is something I have for you all. Well, so guys, if you see in the market, there is no course on RPA dedicated for CAs, dedicated for finance professionals, because since that's an engineering concept, or that is something people need to deal with the design elements, they'll start teaching how to design your board, thinking that you are an engineer, you are a software designer. But no course is there which is targeting functional consultants like us. Since there is no such a thing, I have spent my 75 days, no outings, no nothing, no personal visits, no meetings, no gatherings. I just locked up in a room, started recording all these contents in a live video. I have set up everything, started teaching recording all these contents. I'll show you on the screen. Okay, so this is my website, and this is my own RPA course, which you can see 1,000 rupees, but this is not the rate for you, even less than that. Okay, and let me tell you what is the support that you will be getting from this course. The course is for about 4.5 hours. Yeah, and the course is something which is valid for lifetime, and I'm going to add more and more resources when I get to know some interesting topics, and which is absolutely free at no extra cost. Yeah, if you see the contents, first 10 minutes video I speak on what is about RPA, just an introduction. Introduction to the course, and how you can contact me for suggestions. Maybe if you have any doubt, you can reach me on all the social media platforms. That is something I have spoken here. Now coming to the main course content, what is RPA, how the bot works with some demos, why RPA is required, the reasons, the justifications, the benefits of implementing RPA, how to select a process. This is the most important thing. This is the core part. It's not that since you know RPA, implement, your company will get a benefits, your employees will enjoy the work-life balance. Never that's the case. There is some I can say 10-point checklist which you should know, so that follow that and finalize where you want to put the robot, what activity you want to automate. If you blindly select a process, you will end up wasting all the resources, time, money, investment, everything. Yeah, there is some special checklist, and for that only you are being hired. You are being hired because you know RPA, you know your domain knowledge, you can give the ideas. So with these three only, we are getting new job roles where you are required to give the idea on where you want to implement these machines, these bots. Correct? So that only you can see. 10 minutes I have spoken on that. Misconceptions about RPA. Correct? No, many of us might be having a lot of misconceptions. Sometimes that can be that can be silly misconception. Correct? Which we are thinking. That everything I have covered here. Challenges in implementation. It's not that easy as I told. You will end up sometimes stating that I might have chosen the wrong process, but no, think of, you will have a solution for that as well. You will have a technology solution for that as well, right? So all those challenges is something I have discussed and explained in this 12 minutes. And 3 golden rules, that's the basic theoretical thing. Complete journey, right from how I started, how I ended, because I'm the project manager. I'm not a SME, subject matter expert. I'm not a business analyst. Rather, I'm a project manager. I'll show you in the next slide. This is my team. I'm going to introduce you in the next 2 minutes. Yeah. And use cases in finance, HR, audit, taxation. I just given a glimpse, but there I have explained it completely. Various types of bots. See, if you see the demo, it is an attended bot, because once it requires some instruction, it came to me by sending a mail stating that what you want me to do. But there are some robots which will never ask me. It will carry out end to end by itself. These are various models: attended, unattended, hybrid. Like that, there are various automation models which you need to know. So I have spoken on these 2 things. Next, what is artificial intelligence? Sir, I'm hearing a lot about artificial intelligence. Is it same like RPA? No. There is difference between artificial intelligence, machine learning and RPA. I have explained in this 9-minute video. Hyper automation. Again, it's extreme level of automation where machines will be able to think just like us. Able to think. Whatever demo we have seen is just a very simple plain thing where it just executed. It never thought of. But there are some concepts of hyper automation where bot will be able to exercise the judgment. Remember in the initial thought I asked you, if your job is to give some judgment, there is small percentage that you can get automated. That is due to this hyper automation. Don't say that I'm giving judgment from my experience, I'll never get replaced. No. There is a concept called hyper automation which is going to think just like the way you are thinking. With that, you also will be replaced, though you are holding such a highest position. But time comes. It's not immediately. It is linear advancements. Okay. And to justify that, I have given the demos as well, where I'll explain just like the way I have explained this particular demo. Concepts called RPA service, various RPA tools. This is something you really need to know. What is UiPath? What is Blue Prism? Which vendor I need to select? All these things, all these technical things. But yes, I'll explain in a simple terms, English terms. That is something I have discussed. New roles. I'm going to share that slide as well. What are the new roles we have? What are the other technologies? NLP, deep learning, IoT, API, all this routine stuff or the regular stuff is something I have discussed here. And it doesn't end that way. For every video, I have given minimum 3 extra resources. If you are interested to find that, want to know more, please check those resources at the end of each video. And again, it doesn't end there. I have subsequent sessions where I will be speaking on the industry updates. Not mandatory, but if you see this, you will get updates on what is happening in RPA. Okay. Again, one more activity, exam. I have 25 MCQs. If you pass that, I'll be giving a certificate, which is ISO certified. And in fact, I can't show the certificate right now, but I'll share in the group, in our Telegram group. Hope you are all there. Okay. So I'll give a certificate, and that's up to you how you are convincing the interview. It doesn't mean that if you have a certificate, you will be getting a job. No, it doesn't happen with any course. If that's the criteria, there are a lot of Udemy courses. Do a certificate and try to appear for a job interview. No, you will never get the job. So get the skill, get the concept clear, have a certificate, and then you will be able to crack the interview. Yeah. So only with the certificate you can't do anything. So I don't give a certificate for free. I'm testing your assessment with these 25 MCQs, and once you are reasonably sure that you got something, I'll give a certificate. Okay. Yeah, so that's the thing, and you can see the reviews. This is something I have never spoken, never in no social media platform have published these reviews. These are all chartered accountants who has purchased this course, and you can verify with them on the LinkedIn as well. Okay, so all this you will be getting at 900 rupees, just 900. There is a code as well, which is RPA for CA, and with that you will be able to get in 900 rupees. It's up to you guys. I'm not forcing you. Up to you, take a decision. If you are interested, use this particular code. Yeah, now it's time to continue the session. Just 2 more minutes. Yeah, these are the various roles you will be getting as a finance professional. You can be a subject matter expert where you are supposed to do the knowledge transfer to the designer, stating that this is what I want. Do a robot which can capable of doing my work this way, and you are responsible for getting that activity automated, that process automated. Okay, so that particular role is called subject matter expert. The name itself speaks. You are a domain expert. See, they want to implement RPA and BRS. How they will do without your knowledge, without your involvement? You know the better how the BRS can be done. With what are the various elements to tackle, checks, online payments, VAT, bank charges, a lot of other things, right? So you are supposed to test the design part and give your consent. That's called subject matter expert. Next, project manager. This is something I have done where I'm not limiting myself to any of the things. Rather, I'm responsible end to end for getting the project implemented. I need to contact engineers, IT team, designers, bankers, stakeholders, internal staff, everyone. I need to work. I need to reach out, get the requirements, get the robots displayed to them, get their consent. Everything end to end. You are person who is responsible. Whether you want to buy a server, buy it. Give your judgment. Analyze. You do everything. Your CFO wants you to be a project manager, and that is the role I got in Bahrain. Fortunate enough, I'm able to teach all these things to my fellow chartered accountants. Yeah, I'm going to introduce my team as well in the next 2 minutes. Yeah, just bear with me. And next, process owners. This is a smaller role compared to these two, where you are only responsible for that process. Maybe BRS, not the finance you are representing. Here you are representing finance. Here you are representing entire company. Here you are representing that process. Maybe BRS. Got the difference? Yeah. Now the other side of the game. Sir, can I join some RPA vendors? Because they also need some experts like us, right? Tomorrow a software company cannot directly come to you and say that I can automate. No. Their team also will have finance professional like us who can convince the other finance professional who is the client stating that we can do this. Correct? So you can very well join these companies and you can represent them, not from the company side, from a service provider side. Correct? And this is something I'm expecting, and this is something quite possible. RPA auditors, RPA consultants. I'll go with the first one. RPA auditors, what is this? Assume we are in practice and you know RPA. You have all the skills. You will get assignments to implement only RPA, just to certify an implemented process, just like the way IT audits are getting carried. Just like the similar way, once a company implemented RPA, you are the someone who is going to approve that. You will be doing all this sort of testing, white box approach, black box approach, and you will test saying that whatever robot you are implemented is working fine. And consultants, let me take this scenario. Since I know all these things, maybe I can start my own consulting office. As a wing, I can also advise my clients on what automation can be done, what software is best, what ERP is best. All these things I can do. Correct? So these two profiles are emerging, which is RPA auditors, RPA consultants. And put your question to yourself, how many CAs in practice or how many CAs in profession are aware of these technologies? If you feel that this is something many are not aware, I think you got the answer. Try to learn as much as possible. Get the early bird advantage. And just to tell you, this is my achievement which got in Gulf Daily newspaper. This is an international newspaper spread across 6 countries. Dubai, Kuwait, Saudi, Muscat, Oman, Bahrain, and I missed the last one. Okay, fine. All those 6 Gulf countries, this particular Gulf Daily newspaper is circulating. And on a fine day, to my surprise, since I'm working as a project manager, my work was projected. It's because my company is the first company to implement robots. And you understand how much happiness I have felt. It's just a complete surprise where my friends bought that newspaper. I'm not showing the newspaper right now, rather I'm showing a e-copy. And that is something which is really happened in a country like Bahrain. Okay, that's a good achievement till date to me. And let me introduce my team. He is my CFO. He is my CTO, Chief Technology Officer. Yeah, these both representing the company. And these two people are designers, RPA designers. He is from Jordan. He is from Chennai. And what is I am doing? I am representing entire finance and accounts, entire company as a project manager. And who is she? IT support. See the team structure. Yeah. See, CFO can never involve directly in this process. Can never. He wants to have a subordinate who is like us, who has both the knowledge, who has proven abilities. So he will be, of course, responsible for day-to-day activities. He is responsible for overall project, but I am responsible at the end. These both will be asking the status from me, and that is something you guys will be getting an options in this tech domain. That can be any implementation. Even the same team will be there for ERP implementation. The same type of team will be there for blockchain implementation. Provided you know the concepts, you are going to lead. As simple as that. You see the age. All these are big shots, and me representing 3 years of experience. But still, I'm a project manager. Got it? So I think I covered everything. Though we exceeded by 10 minutes, I think I covered everything. So you know the support as well. If you opt the course, I think Yeah, you can see the links directly here. No need of asking me. You can click here to reach my WhatsApp. You can click here to reach my Telegram. Yeah, you can, all the support I have given in my website. Yeah, so if you are someone who is interested to check out this course, and for anything, even though you are not subscribing, that doesn't matter to me. Please join my Telegram group. Ask as many questions as you want in all these technology concepts, automation, blockchain, cryptos, DeFi, whatever. I'm going to answer you all those things. And with that, I think it's time to say goodbye. Any more questions or else? No, Srikanth. Again, that's the myth actually. Even I think it's a very good question. I want to clarify you. It's not that only these three are finance professionals. You can be a BCom, you can be an MCom, finance degree, anything is fine. See, to learn these technologies, no, we don't need any certification, any prerequisite certification. If you are interested and willing to learn, you can learn anything. And so that only I stopped mentioning. Yeah, if you see here, or if you see the this session, I think the meeting agenda as well, I mentioned introduction to finance boards. Yeah, it doesn't mean only for CS. Okay, it's never the criteria. Even in fact, many times I have rectified that. Initially, I used to, because I'm a CA, I used to target only CS. Then people used to ask me, is this only for CA? Then I used to explain all these things. So I'm sorry for that. It's not only for CS, not for CMS, not only for company secretaries. It's for anyone who is interested in finance. And for that matter, even tech. And the reason why I'm not speaking on tech, no, they'll expect the design part. Just like you people, if any engineer joins, what is his expectations? He just asked me, sir, train me on how to design a board, which I can't do. Correct. So that only I'm not highlighting the tech enthusiast, but it's the right term. Yeah. Thank you, Srikanth, for the question. And anything else, guys, or certainly we can wind up. Anything? So resume the weekend. You can unmute yourself. I think Spurti, you have some questions to ask. I hope that is answered, but if at all anything left, you can ask me right here. Thank you, Srikanth, for the participation. Week Sunday. Yeah. I think they have some questions. How to get entry in this domain? Dhananjay, it's as simple as that. See, you need to know all the skills. Once you know all these RPA skills, try to approach the relevant people. Try to approach the companies which are looking for implementing RPA. Like I say investment banking, say Barclays, say L&T. Just try to get information. Is that company trying to automate something? If you got to know any leads, approach to the CFOs directly. Approach to the HRs saying that I know all these skills. Maybe I can help you in that implementation of these technology or the things. And the same I got. They never called me stating that, Prem, can you help me in this RPA? No. I went to Bahrain as a finance manager, but there they have seen me that I was interested in RPA and I got a profile. Similarly, you will start your career with an audit, a taxation, a finance professional, just like a normal one. But in your company, try to showcase the skills that you have. And when they want to implement, they will give the lead to you. Agree, Dhananjay? Never expect that they will only hire you for these implementations. Never. You are a routine guy, just like other profiles. But since you know this, you will get this opportunity. The same thing happened with me, because we are CS. No one has ever taught us the technology before myself going to L&T, going from L&T. In L&T, my profile is just a normal one, audit. I go Bahrain with a finance profile, but there I expressed that I know something. They gave me the offer as a project manager. That's the starting point. And you can ask me, after that, I'll get a jobs on the similar domain. Starting point is this way. Subsequent jobs you can directly showcase. I'm a fintech. I'm a fintechy. And Dhananjay, just a suggestion. First is CA. Then you can do anything. Great. Any more questions, guys? Any more questions? Just a minute. I think it's time to charge my laptop, or the recording will go off. Thank God. Great. Okay. So anything, guys, or it's time to wind up? Every Big Four. It's not any Big Four. Every Big Four has opted RPA. Even they have this, you can go to the website, Spoti, the EY website, PwC website, and see that the digitalization week, where they will be speaking that we provide RPA, we provide blockchain advisory services. Yeah, and just to tell you the fact, every Big Four employee will be having the license to create the bot, and this is something I got from PwC. Every employee, they were given a license, just like your organizations are giving the Udemy license. They have given the UiPath license to employees, where they are free to design their bots. Very good question, Spurti. And every Big Four, including the next set of audit firms, are also into these services. Yeah, great. Any more questions, Dhananjay? If it's just that I am sort of okay. Great, but see, first you have to start with something and get these tech profiles. As a fresher, it's very difficult to give the ideas, bro. Once you know what is wrong or what is something the current process, then only you'll be able to give the ideas. Since I am from audit background in L&T, I know the flaws. Since I am into financial closing, I know the flaws. I know where we are wasting time. And then I know the technology. And then I can give the ideas where I can bridge these gaps with the technologies. I think Dhananjay, you're able to get it right. So first, get a normal profile, identify the loopholes. Second, understand the technologies. Third, prepare your ideas, and you will be an expert in giving the suggestions. Any more questions, guys? Thank you. And hope you are all there in the Telegram chat, because there I'll be sharing the updates, so I don't want you people to miss. Okay, if anyone is not there, please search in my LinkedIn or just send me a hi in my WhatsApp number. I'm going to share my number as well if you don't have. Just say hi or whatever, I'll do it whatever you want. Okay, so I think no more questions it seems, and we are at 5:20. I think it's raining. Even though I got a time, I'm not willing to enjoy now. Okay. Okay, so closing the session.